As the 2026 general elections approach, the Electoral Commission is tasked with updating the voter register beforehand. The update exercise began on January 20th and will conclude on February 20th. So far, only 390,000 new voters have been captured, a far cry from the 4 million the Electoral Commission had projected. Critics argue that this voter low turnout reflects voter apathy, which needs to be addressed. Justice Simon Byabakama, the head of the Electoral Commission, had this to say.
When we go to the NIRA data, the citizenship data, we cannot, if I may use the word, import you as a voter because you are not yet 18. So when you turn 18, during this process, you show up at the update center and say, look, I'm already registered. And in fact, actually, all those learners who are registered by NIRA, they are only showing up either with their national IDs or the NIN and say, NIRA has already confirmed you a citizen. Now what is remaining is for you to allocate me to a polling station. And my polling station I prefer of my choice is this polling station where I reside, where I'm born.
According to NIRA, the authority responsible for registering citizens, they registered 2.6 million individuals when they turned 18 in November last year, many of whom were students.
Recently, the Electoral Commission carried out a voter verification exercise, and they managed to register only 360,000 new voters. And they depend on NIRA to know who has turned 18. So over time, since 2021 elections, how many Ugandans have turned 18 and are now eligible for voting that you have so far registered as NIRA?
In December, we had a 53-day exercise where we were specifically targeting persons who are of voting age to give them their national identification documents. And at that time, in December, we did register 2.6 million persons whose information we shared with the Electoral Commission. So just to demonstrate to you that ours is a continuous process. But from the time we started sharing, we have so far shared 20 million applications of persons who are 18 and above who are eligible to vote.
With less than a week remaining for the Electoral Commission to capture more new voters, some critics argue that it will be impossible for the body to register an additional 1 million voters, leaving over 1.6 million potential voters without the opportunity to participate in choosing their leaders.
And the number of transfers are about 290,000 something, okay? 361,000 voters, the new voters, then 290 something as transfers. So for us, it's not that is a small number. No, 390 can determine the results of an election. Yeah, but
this issue is also concerning opposition members who frequently contest the outcomes of the presidential elections. NTV spoke with the leader of opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, who shared his thoughts on the matter.
These issues have got to be sorted out. When you don't do that, then you are deliberately disenfranchising people. You don't want them to participate in the election exercise. Why? Now some kids have already gone back to school. They could not be able to register those that wanted to. All of this locks out some people who wanted to be part of the process, and it is problematic.
Justice Byabakama, however, pointed out that the Electoral Commission is not responsible for the low voter verification turnout, as it is a citizen's right to participate in electoral processes.
We can only say, look, it is your right to vote. It's like any right, the right to life and anything, a right to own property. You can choose not to own property, period. But it's your right under the Constitution to own property. So even voting is a right, but it's not a mandatory right. It's not an obligatory right.
The new people who want to register as voters, they need to get recommendations from DISO, GISO, VISO, HISO, I don't know what, all these different people who are difficult to come by. Even when they eventually access them, some of them are asking for money from these people. Before you get a recommendation, pay money. So the whole process has been a cumbersome one.
According to the Electoral Commission, the number of registered voters has increased from 18 million to 19 million since the 2021 elections. However, the current turnout is still below expectations. Sudil Byaruhanga, NTV.